I'm Max Pappas, and I work at FreedomWorks. And it is an honor to stand up and speak to everybody here. I want to thank you for coming and for fighting for freedom. And it's amazing. I wish you could see what the view is from up here. There's so many freedom-loving, limited government patriots out there. You guys are amazing. I think we share a lot in common, and I think one of them is a line that an old boss of mine, the author P.J. O'Rourke, wrote, and it's that giving more money and power to government is like giving whiskey and car keys to teenage boys. We understand that. I wish Obama and Pelosi and Reid understood that. Our next speaker understands that. He's one of the few good politicians who went through office and actually did a lot of good. When he was governor of New Mexico, Gary Johnson vetoed 750 bills. He eliminated the state's budget deficit and cut government growth in half. New Mexico then experienced the longest period in its history without a tax increase. The next Congress, this Congress, and the current president could learn a lot from former governor of New Mexico, Gary Johnson.
I would like you to all know that I'm an entrepreneur. I started a one-man handyman business in Albuquerque in 1974, and in 1994 actually had 1,000 employees. My venture into politics was entrepreneurial. I had never been involved in politics prior to running for governor of New Mexico. New Mexico's 2-to-1 Democrat. I got elected by saying that I was going to bring a common-sense business approach to state government. Best product, best service, lowest price, issues first, politics last. I got elected, and I got reelected, and I got reelected having vetoed 750 bills while I was governor of New Mexico. I said no to all sorts of spending. I prevented billions of dollars worth of spending from taking place in New Mexico. I had thousands of line items vetoes. I took that to a new art form. I would like to think that citizens in New Mexico, 2-to-1 Democrat, recognize good stewardship of tax dollars. I was very outspoken regarding school choice. I believe in free markets. I believe that bringing competition to public education would dramatically improve public education. I made a pledge to New Mexico that I would put the issues that should be on the front burner regardless of the political consequences. And in that vein, I would like to ask all of you to take a hard look at the war on drugs. I was going to take a hard look at the war on drugs, and I was going to include legalization as a potential alternative to what we were doing. I had no idea the compelling argument that existed, and I would just ask you to look at this issue and see if you don't come to the same conclusion that I have, and that is that 90% of the drug problem is prohibition-related, not use-related, and that is not to discount the problems with use and abuse. We have the highest incarceration rate of any country in the world. That's on a per capita basis. Half of what we spend on law enforcement, the courts, and the prisons is drug-related. We're arresting 1.8 million people a year in this country on drug-related crime. I suggest that legalizing marijuana will make this country a better place. I'm asking you to just look at the issue and see if you won't come to that same conclusion. Just look at the issue. That's what I'm asking for. I got out of office January 1 of 2003. I was term limited. I'm a firm believer in term limits. Term limits, politicians do good things as opposed to what it takes to get reelected. I find myself outraged over what's happening in this country today, and that is that this country is bankrupt. We need to be slashing spending. We need to be reducing taxes. 43 cents out of every dollar that we're spending is borrowed. We need to cut government by 43%. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security have to be reformed. We can't afford the commitments that have been made, political promises that were made that cannot be kept. I would like to thank all of the veterans in the audience. My father, who is still alive, paratrooped into Normandy a couple of days before D-Day with the 101st Airborne Division. My father lost a lung getting bayoneted in the back at the Battle of the Bulge. Veterans, you've all given us what I can never repay. When it comes to defense spending, I think that we need to take a hard look at what we're doing. I would argue that our defense is not being threatened in either Iraq or Afghanistan, that we are building roads, schools, bridges, highways, and hospitals in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we're borrowing 43 cents out of every dollar to do that. We're nation building all around the world when don't we have our own nation to build? I wouldn't be here today if what I was saying didn't need to be said. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't think that what I'm saying needs to be said. We have an opportunity here to right the fiscal ship of America, to see us move forward. Not doing that, I think, is going to result in nothing for all of us as opposed to giving up a little bit and having a lot. Let's right the fiscal ship. Let's return this country to what it's always been about, which is liberty and freedom and the personal responsibility that goes along with that. Thank you very much.